and welcome to the Plymouth Pavilions. It's the opening weekend of the BBL Championship season. We have an intriguing game for you as the hometown Raiders take on Surrey United. I'm joined by former Raider Jamie Birchall. Jamie, both these teams losing their opening game of the season. Nobody wants to go 0-2 on the opening weekend.
No, both of these squads have reloaded over the summer after 2 losses to London and, in Raiders' case, to Bristol. Neither of these teams are going to want to give up the loss and go 0-2, especially with tougher challenges maybe for each team coming up.
Well, that does put pressure on both of these teams as they go out. Earlier, I had a chance to speak to both coaches to see what they thought of their opening day defeats. Well, a disappointing start, defeat in your opening game. What did you make of the performance?
Well, to be honest, I was still happy. Defensively, I think we're where we need to be. It's just offensively, it's going to take a while. I mean, even with our returners, we're still running something fairly new, and we just stagnated really. And a great coach like Andreas, he took advantage of it, and we just couldn't quite get ourselves into the game. So we've got to take the positives out of it and get ready for the home opener.
And obviously, Brent Benson didn't play. Any chance he might play today's game?
Well, we're assessing it hour by hour, but I'd say erring on the caution, probably not really. I'd like to get a week's worth of practice under my belt and see that a lot of it is going to be sort of the mental side of things really, is how he's going to feel put in those situations. And you're not going to know how he feels sort of going in the paint and things like that until that actually happens, and I'm not sure it's too appropriate for this game, but we're measuring as it comes. If he can wear a precautionary guard, he really wants to get out there, but I think I'm a little bit nervous about it, if I'm honest, so we'll see.
Take some of the firepower away from your offence, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, you're talking about probably within our offence, we're looking for him to get between 15 and 18 a game. If he comes out with that really handily yesterday and we're a little bit more fluid, I think the result would be different. That's taking nothing away from Bristol. I mean, their game plan was fantastic, and they just stuck with it and bedded in and made it difficult for us. So we've still got a lot of things to work on. You know, a player assistant coach came in on Friday, threw him into the fray a little bit on Saturday, just needs must. It's the sport we're in. So no, it's just staying really positive with the guys. They're fine, and we've just got to get on with it.
And just a quick one, everybody at home, the neutrals will be thinking about Trevor Setti. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I said it. The media's asked me a couple of these questions. Really, I think it's really natural for him to want to come down and prove himself, and you know, I still maintain, you know, he's still a great player. I take nothing away from him, but to be honest, he's not in my thoughts. I've got to get on with trying to make sure that this team meshes and we put a run together, and you know, around Christmas time we're there or thereabouts. That's the important thing for me.
Well, Jack, defeat in your opening game. What did you make of that performance?
Well, it's difficult to make some decisive, clear comment. Well, how I said before, if it was last year, I would be quite optimistic. But the problem is this year, and we cannot say that we're young in experience. You know, we cannot have a cake and eat it. You know, we're young, but we cannot. We want to be young, so we cannot use this as an excuse. That we lost this game. It was a very close game. I'm disappointed that we didn't try to win the fourth quarter. We had a couple runs which, well, threatened them to some extent, but we weren't able to capitalize on them, and there was definitely a chance for us to win. It's not good for us to lose at home. We've had a great pre-season, much completely different scale of expectation than last year. No, I'm not happy that we lost it. I'm sure we learned quite a lot, and you know, there's an incredible tight group of people. They keep talking about it all the time, so hopefully we'll learn from it. It's not a very long season, it's just beginning, but I don't think I'm happy that we lost, so we can improve. We need to improve really quickly.
And Trevor must be really excited for this game.
I'm sure. Well, Trevor, first of all, he's a tremendous guy. I love people who are, you know, outgoing, slightly outrageous. I never seen normal person who achieve in high-profile sport. You know, normal people don't achieve a high-profile sport. Certainly, he's not normal, but he's a fantastic basketball player. You know, I spent months with him, and I can only say great thing about him. He's a very good basketball player, but he's a tremendous human being here. He's odd, and so great to celebrate his, you know, difference than try to, you know, make him look like everyone else. he had tough time against Andrew Sullivan, and Andrew Sullivan on Friday done a very good job defensively on him. Trevor still had 17 or 18 points, but it was hard work, and he's a great guy. I'm sure. I don't want to steal the thunder from him because I'm sure he rehearsed his speech to you for past 2 weeks. So I'm not making any more about Trevor. I'm sure he will have a tremendous game today, but you'll hear from him. You don't need to hear from me.
Well, I think the reaction from Jack, the laugh, said as much as anything that he said afterwards when I mentioned Trevor Setti there to him. But obviously, that is the key storyline to this game, the return of Trevor Setti to the pavilions.
It is, and in this league, it happens quite a bit. There's been a lot of kind of returnees to the Plymouth pavilions over the years, and I'm sure to other venues around the country as well. But this one seems to have a little bit extra in it, especially with the whole Twitter thing going on. But at the end of the day, it's two teams rather than one guy going up against a coach or another team. Everybody here are professionals, so they're going to take the game as that.
But this guy right here is going to do everything in his power to try and stick it to the former team.
Absolutely. I mean, I know Trevor. I know Trevor personally. I mean, he's a great player, and for the Raiders, he can stick the three-point shot from a long way out. He's got a ridiculous range on his three-point shot. So, if they want to keep him off that line, and you want to make him drive to the basket a little bit, chase him off that three-point line, because that's what he's going to want to do, and he can get hot. That's going to help his team out.
Well, let's take a look at the two team lineups for today's game, starting with the Plymouth Raiders, and it's been much changed over the summer. Lewis Sayers is back, so too Nick George, a couple of the younger guys still in the squad, but a lot of new faces for these fans here at the pavilions to get used to.
Absolutely, I think for the fans it's quite exciting when it's like that. There are new faces. I mean, David Evans, who's just come in, as Coach Mary said on Friday. It'll be interesting to see how he's kind of gelling with his teammates. But he's been around for a number of years, so I'm sure that won't be a problem with him. And obviously DeAndre Medlock played against USA Select last weekend, but he's only been in the country a week, so it's going to be a little bit of kind of learning as time goes on.
Let's take a look at the Surrey United lineup, and obviously we talked an awful lot about Trevor Setti, but the interesting thing about this lineup is it has a lot more BBL experience than they did this time last year. Obviously the guys returning back have a season, but you've also got Knutson and Krakow who've joined from other BBL teams. They're in a better place than they were 12 months ago.
Absolutely, I think experience for Surrey United is going to be a big deal for them and a big thing for them. Kramer Knutson, he's going to be their anchor inside, and obviously with Setti, who's very, very versatile. He can play the 3 and 4 at 6'8", and he can really extend the defense. But also the youngster Elvisi Dusha, who a lot of coaches around the league really rate him as a pure point guard. He's seen it and done it for a BBL season, so I'm sure Surrey will look for him to really kick on after last season.
Well, it was noticeable actually when they did the team introductions as Setti went out. He still got a big cheer from the home fans, so still very popular despite all the fallout of that departure at last. It was around Christmas time, wasn't it, last year? It'll be interesting to see how much love he gets during the game, though.
Yeah, I mean this Pavilions crowd is not what we would say is maybe a really kind of mean type of audience. I think they just respect the fact that Trevor or any other players that have been here before have come in, and at the end of the day, these guys have put in 100% effort every time they stepped onto the floor for the Raiders, and obviously this crowd will know that that's exactly what Trevor and other guys will want to do as well.
Well, two teams who missed out on the playoffs last season. Plymouth kind of fell away. They were mid-table for much of the first half of the season and then dropped out on the final day. A whole bunch of results had to go against them and did on the final weekend. So two teams looking to build on that as Plymouth get underway with their first home game of the season. They did lose what is now the Southwest Derby against Bristol last night. Opening day victory for Bristol Flyers, one of the 2 new teams in the BBL this season. And the jump ball is won by Knutson, and it's Surrey with Dusha who have the opening play. Horn set round the high screen. Here is first touch for Setti. Putting the ball on the floor, looking to drive in. Head fake from Knutson, goes up off the glass, not quite. Setti trying to grab the rebound, it's on the floor. Referees will say that is a tied ball, and obviously as Surrey had just won the tip, it means the arrow is pointing Plymouth's way. Head fake from Knutson, goes up off the glass, not quite.
Coach Marriott's going to probably want a little bit of a slick offense this one, especially as Plymouth were only able to drop 56 on the road to Bristol last night, which would suggest that their offense wasn't really clicking and gelling.
Well, they are missing, obviously, last season's BBL leading scorer, Brent Benson, who suffered a pretty nasty blow to the head last week, big gash and some concussion, and he has been ruled out of today. He was warming up. Well, that should have been an easy two for West. He did do a little bit of warm-up early on, but not quite right. They're going to save him for next week. Foul is called. Neither team able to get on the board here in the opening minute of this first quarter. A little bit of warm-up early on, but not quite right. They're going to save him for next week. Foul is on Robinson, and Setti will inbound. Neither team able to get on the board here in the opening minute of this first quarter. Setti around the high screen. Setti open for three. First look is good. And he turns to the crowd. Not quite sure whether he was apologizing or taunting. I think it was apology.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing we were saying in the opening sequence today. You've got to keep Trevor Setti off the three-point line. You've got to make him drive. He can drive and he can finish, but it's a much better option making him drive, having people step in, taking charges, and giving him that semi-open three-point shot.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing we were saying in the pass there, and it's out of bounds.
You've got to keep Trevor Setti off the three-point line. You've got to make him drive.
United bring it forward. With Kreko.
Much better option making him drive.
Kreko turns the corner, kicks it across to West. West drives in. Back to Kreko, out from behind the arc. That three doesn't go. Oh, and it should have been an easy rebound, but Knutson got there. Kreko drives in, not enough on it. Both teams struggling to find the role here in the opening exchanges. Nick George slashing to the basket, used his body well and gets Plymouth's first points on the board. Oh, quick pass out the other way. Kreko going through traffic. Nick George looking to push, gets it on. Nice easy one for Evans. And Nick George trying to fire the crowd up here, waving at them, trying to get things going.
Yeah, Kirk Kreko needs to go in a little bit stronger in there for Surrey. Dre Medlock, known when in college as a good shot blocker. Setti with the
fall away that doesn't go. There's Knutson with another offensive rebound. Gets it down into Setti, back out to Kreko, given all the space he could need, and he went up to the elbow but couldn't knock the shot down.
Dre Medlock, known when in college as a good shot blocker. Setti with the one thing that was Raiders' Achilles heel last season was defending the glass, and Surrey already have looked like they're a lot more aggressive on that offensive end.
Certainly Kramer Knutson's been going after the offensive boards here in the early exchanges. Medlock, cross court. Robinson fires up for three. His first from behind the arc today.
We've talked about Trevor Setti having range for a big man, 6'8", 6'9". Gerald Robinson, exactly the same thing. Also got ridiculous range on his three-point shot. That'll be a nice little matchup.
Dusha dumps off to West. There was Dusha threw the ball. Nick George not happy about it. And still Nick George is very unhappy about it. Dusha threw the ball. And at Wiltshire, and I don't know what the referees are going to make of this, but Nick George certainly was very unhappy with that action. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of technicals given here, one for the throwing of the ball and one for the reaction of George. The referees are going to chat it over before they make their decision. Very unhappy with that action. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of technicals given here, one for the throwing of the ball and one for the reaction of George. The referees are going to chat it over before they make their decision. There we go. So it is, as predicted, technicals for, well, I think it was Dusha. Well, I'm not sure now because he ended up with Setti at the line shooting free throws. And of course, rule change, shooting a free throw. A couple of rule changes over the summer, one of which is a technical foul results in only one free throw. I think the table have been slightly confused because I'm sure the referee said 4 white as he went to the call that, and there isn't a 4 white. A couple of rule changes over the summer, one of which is a technical foul results in which is I think caused the confusion, and it was the referee said 4 whites. Just a technical there, I think on George and on Wiltshire. They seem to have put 1 and 1 on Dusha as well, so there were 3 technicals in total. Setti from behind the arc for 3 is short, and at the second attempt Medlock comes up with the rebound. Just a technical there.
Raiders are going to need to do a better job protecting our three-point line.
Wiltshire, they seem to
Trevor Setti missing that one there.
Wiltshire's 3 doesn't go. There's a push on the rebound on West, and it will be a Raiders ball from the end. Yeah, I was just saying, a few rule changes to keep an eye on for this season. One of them, as we've just seen already, just 1 free throw now on a technical foul. The other interesting one, I think, is the shot clock change, which means an offensive rebound only resets the clock to 14 rather than 24. Setti driving in. There's Knutson again with the offensive rebound. I think that'll change the end game situation, but we'll see here the shot clock reset to only 14 on that missed shot. They probably had more than 14 from the first shot. They took it so early. West misses on that one.
Both teams struggling to find any kind of consistency on offense, rushing shots.
The shot clock reset to only 14 on that missed shot.
Nearly a double dribble by the looks of it there.
Yeah, Knutson went to take off and then I think realized he wasn't the point guard.
Misses on that one. Both teams struggling to
moves it on. Kreko given some space, steps under the challenge from Evans, and it doesn't go. Kicked out, good pass, and dunked in by Medlock, but really the pass from Evans made that an easy 2.
Yeah, good court vision by David Evans. Been around the game for a long time. Dre Medlock, 6'10" center, can really get up and down the floor, and he can get off the ground as well.
Dunked in by Medlock. Kreko trying to bounce that cross ball. That a kick ball.
Good court vision by David Evans.
So it does reset the shot clock to 14.
6'10" center, can really get up and down the floor, and he can get off the ground as well.
Other rule change was the no charge zone. You now need to be completely outside of the circle. On the line is part of the zone. So it does reset. So taking charges, you've got to be further from the basket. Nice dump inside, and Medlock lays in for 2.
Nice slide down there by Dre Medlock. Good find, Josh Wiltshire, that was obviously playing for Reading Rockets in Division 1 last year.
Taking charges, got to be further from the Setti. Setti with a little step back high archer that comes off the back of the ring.
Nice slide down there by Dre Medlock.
Plymouth have a chance to extend yet further here.
Josh Wiltshire, that was obviously playing for Reading Rockets in Division 1 last year.
Wiltshire zips it in, finds Medlock again. That will be a charging foul. And having just talked about the no charge zone, that one had to be pretty close to the being in the circle there, the little semicircle under the basket. But the referee deemed him to be outside and called for the charge. And we're just past the midpoint here of the opening quarter at the Pavilions. It's Plymouth 11, Surrey 5 with a timeout call. Well, I'm sure Jack here is just a little disappointed with his team's execution offensively. Defensively, they haven't been too bad. They've missed a couple that they've allowed the Raiders get some easy scores, but they've just not put any points on the board at the other end, sorry.
Yeah, I think he'll be disappointed, but at the same time, I don't think he'll be too worried with the fact that they've been getting good looks. You know, the Raiders haven't been really kind of pressuring the outside shot. You know, A couple of times that they've taken one dribble pull-up jump shots that have been uncontested. You know, little kind of short corner gimmies that, you know, these caliber of players will knock down. But at the moment, Surrey obviously finding it a little bit more difficult of the two putting the ball in the basket. A couple of times that they've taken one dribble pull-up jump shots that have been uncontested. You know, little kind of short corner.
They were slow starting Plymouth, but I'm sure Jay Marriott will be happier with what he's seen over the last 2 or 3 minutes, where they've managed to get some easy scores through Medlock. Wilshire's been finding teammates that got out on the break a little bit as well. Slow starting Plymouth.
It was definitely something that Plymouth had to try and resolve, that centre position. There was a couple of guys kind of come and go last year that played the 5 spot. But in Dre Medlock, I think Raiders think that they've got a guy that can, you know, really kind of make those inside shots, little dumb down passes, you know, with relative ease. With Dre Medlock being a legitimate 6'10" and athletic, I think they're looking for big things this year with him.
Knutson wondered for a second whether the ref was going to give him a delay of game warning there for heading the ball up in the air. And did well there to break through a double team and find a way of getting the scoreboard ticking for his team again. That ball a little low and picked off. Dusha pushing it forward to West. Back to Dusha. Dusha drives in, cross court, forcing into the game for the first time. Shot doesn't go, and easy rebound for Robinson. Kicks it out long to George for the finger roll, and poor transition defense there from Surrey.
Again, wide open three-point shot there for Surrey. And sometimes when you've got a good fast break team, which Plymouth looks to have, a missed shot like that can almost be like a turnover, especially when they come down and get easy baskets like they've been doing the last couple of minutes.
Evans a little slow with the feet there and ended up grabbing Setti as he went past him. They're over the limit because of all those technical fouls earlier on in the quarter, so Trevor Setti will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Well, he struggled a bit today, hasn't he? I know he will have wanted to come out and put on a show, but he's 1 of 5 from the floor.
One thing Trevor Setti will not be, though, is kind of laid back about it. He's going to want to come out there and he's going to keep shooting. He's that kind of player. He's that kind of shooter. He definitely will not go back into a shell.
No, I don't think there's any danger of that. He'll keep firing them up, that's for sure. 13 points to 8. Just over 3 to play here in the opening quarter on opening weekend in the BBL Championships. Evans from behind the arc for 3, strokes it.
David Evans had a considerable amount of time away from basketball. Didn't look like it on that three-point shot.
Dusha's effort is off left. Nice pass through. That's a couple of nice assists that you've seen from him through to Medlock there.
I know Jay Marriott looks at Josh Wilshire being that kind of pass-first point guard that the Raiders necessarily didn't have last year. He's definitely getting his teammates open in this first quarter.
Setti finds some space. His shot is halfway down. Knutson with the offensive rebound, gets kind of stuck underneath, tried to bounce it off Medlock. It did deflect out of bounds off a Plymouth player last, so it will be Surrey's ball from the end, but only 11 on the shot clock. Setti into Knutson. Knutson gets it out. Kreko has to shoot. He moves it on. I don't know that Dusha sees the clock, and this is probably the example of getting used to the new rules, because in your head you kind of think we got another 10 seconds here.
Yeah, and you wonder, kind of with the resources that BBL teams have, they don't necessarily have shot clocks for, you know, practice facilities and things like that. So maybe for the first couple of weeks of the season, it's going to become apparent in games that people are kind of switched off to that rule.
Evans. Medlock at the top of the key knocks down the jump shot, and this starting to get away from Surrey here in the opening quarter.
Raiders starting to be a little bit more patient, finding the open guy. Medlock showing his range from 15 feet.
Greco drives hard to the basket, well challenged by Medlock. Evans a little stop and go, dumps it back. Wiltshire spinning, going the long way around. Good defense, but an even better finish.
Under duress. Josh Wiltshire using the glass.
Setti fires up for three, knocks it down, second of the game.
Again, too open there. You know, that's exactly where he's going to want to find his little sweet spot. Just right of center.
Sayers fires up for three, doesn't go. Rebound Setti. Knutson's out on the break. Oh, caught it. What a catch that is. And Trevor Setti with the pass like a quarterback to a wide receiver. Just got it over the defender. And Knutson managed to jam it down. Wiltshire driving in, trying to dump it off. Loses it. It's thrown the length of the court. Doesn't go. End of the quarter, a bit of a slow start, then Plymouth started to get going, but the last couple of plays have given Surrey some life. They need to find some more offense, so 13 points in a quarter isn't going to get it done.
Absolutely not, and I think Raiders have, you know, like you said, they've started to pick it up a little bit. Wiltshire's kind of running the show a little bit there, dropping off. I think one thing Surrey have got to do is keep him out of the lane, maybe see what he's got from the outside, but I think that the last couple of offenses from Surrey will have annoyed Coach Marriott from Plymouth a little bit.
We're at the end of the first here at the Pavilions. It's Plymouth 22, Surrey 13. Welcome back to Plymouth. Trevor Setti will inbound the ball from the halfway line for Surrey, who trail by 9. Knutson skipped cross court to Dusha. They're trying to get it into him. Here he is, Knutson. Setti, did he step on the line? Yes, he did. And you can see they're trying to establish the big guy inside, but they haven't been able to get him the touch on that play.
No, and I think Plymouth are doing a decent job, making it difficult for him, but also keeping him away from the block. Trying to get position a little bit closer into the paint.
Little zone press from Surrey. Slows things down a little bit. Wiltshire puts it on the floor. Nick George fires up for 3, little short. Oh, and probably a little over-exuberant on the rebound there, Forson. And in the end, he had it knocked away by the padding on the back of the board. But I think he could have come down with it. Wanted a statement rebound, if you like.
I think so. Trying to tap the glass of the ball there. Just get those elbows out, and let's get out and run.
Sayers from behind the arc hits his first 3. First 3 of the season, in fact, because he had his struggles at Bristol.
Lewis Sayers changed his body over the summer. It was a very skinny kid.
Oh, but it was, I think George was getting ready for any rebound rather than expecting a pass. Good fast break by Surrey the other way, and Forson's there to lay it in.
Going back to Lewis Sayers, struggled last night, 1 of 10. And now Raiders are struggling with their passing.
Yeah, good hands again from Sayers. Taking it down court to the finger roll, and he's fouled. It's interesting, since they changed to that little zone press, it's kind of thrown Plymouth a little bit. But Lewis Sayers has been doing the job of stealing the ball away and getting them out in transition.
I think neither coach will be happy at the moment. There's been, I believe, 3 turnovers in the last 3 possessions. Perhaps showing early season jitters, as well as execution.
Sayers at the line makes the first.
Always find it as a shooter, get into the line is a really good way of kind of shooting your way into the game. And Lewis Sayers definitely a shooter. Had his struggles last night, but got off to a decent start here this afternoon.
Dusha. Forson had to go low to pull in that catch. Back out to Dusha. That's a bit high. Kreco does pull it in. Little floating shot doesn't quite go. And good rebound.
Excellent pass.
Oh, super. And there's
nice rearrangement
on the end.
Again, Gerald Robertson showing his athleticism, hanging in the air, bit of rearrangement, and a good finish. Another one of those really useful, versatile players, Gerald Robertson.
Bit of fortune there for Surrey that the pass deflected into the path of Kreco, and he had an open lane to the basket. Again, it's not much of a zone press, but it's certainly discombobulating Plymouth at the moment. There's Kreco, little crossover to the hole, put off by George. It'll be a Surrey ball.
I think Kreco's struggling a little bit in this first half. Believed he was fouled there.
Zoe 7 shooting, as the ref didn't call that one. There's Knutson, little up fake, takes it in, lays it in for 2.
Caught Plymouth sleeping a little bit on that out of bounds play. Just a simple lob up to Kramer Knutson.
George. His Sayers open for 3, halfway down, but comes back out again. Dusha. Round the screen, gets it out to Setti, fakes it for 3, drives inside, kicks it out. Kreco from behind the arc, little short. Setti rips it away from Robinson. That was a little too easy.
Again, when Setti left Plymouth last season, I think everyone talked about his shoot, the 3-point shooting, his scoring, but people forgot that he's a decent rebounder there. I think last season he was averaging at that time 6 or 7 rebounds a game, which is a 3-man really helped out. And Trevor obviously showing a good rebound in there on the offensive end.
Well, he wasn't happy with the rebounding coach Marriott, so he just took the 2 guys out who didn't manage to rebound and sent Medlock and Hopkins in, see if they could do a better job. Sayers, quick 3 doesn't go. Wilshire just keeps that in bounds. Cross court to George. In the corner is Sayers, back to George, and again. George fires up for 3, that one doesn't go. Medlock making a nuisance of himself. I think that touched West last, yes it did.
Much better defense on that possession from Surrey. Coach Majewski not happy, they weren't able to secure that.
3 in the corner, doesn't go. Medlock standing there on his own like he was a defensive player. So too Hopkins, oh, they still can't convert. I mean, two disastrous offensive rebounds to give up from Surrey's perspective, but somehow Plymouth didn't make them pay. And Hopkins a little over-exuberant on that one, is called for the foul.
You wonder how important that little miss is going to be. That could have taken Raiders up to at least a 10-point lead.
It's interesting, one of the other things is you watch the referees, they're having to learn new signals this year because the numbering rules have been loose and you can basically have any number you like, whereas there used to be some band numbers. It was anything you could do on one hand, essentially. George with the steal, running it back and finished well despite the presence of Dusha and Setti.
Again, Nick George slowing down a little bit, putting off the defenders that were chasing hard back.
West was not expecting that. I think he thought the pass was intended for Knutson, but it was aimed in his direction.
I think we might have lost a shot clock in that corner. Oh, there it is. Back on.
10-point game here, midway through second quarter even. Wiltshire. Back to George. Oh, nice pass. Hopkins lost it out of bounds though, and Surrey will regain possession.
Got a feeling that even if he had been able to hold on to that, I think that may have been a travel call. So to save on his turnovers, just run back, get back on defense, and let's go.
Setti ran the screen. Ball bounced a little high on him there, wasn't quite expecting it. Greco drives baseline and he's blocked by Medlock. Foul called though, so he will go to the line for two. Greco at the line, trying to get this back into single figures for Surrey. They had a decent go at London for much of the first half. Kind of got away from them a bit. They made something of a run late on, but London always looked comfortable in that opening game. Of course, the Lions still awaiting the arrival of last year's MVP Zaire Taylor, so they were doing that a man light. Evans, blocking foul called against Setti. Just didn't quite get there in time.
I think Surrey against London, Knutson had 18 points, Setti had 17. I think that's probably going to be the way of it all season. Very, very reliable on those two as far as the scoring goes.
They're going to need somebody else, though. Those two guys will do that. They're going to need a Greco, a West, maybe even a Dusha, somebody else to put a decent number on the board if they're going to have enough offensive firepower. Setti thought about the pull-up three in transition, takes it now off the handoff and knocks it down. Still don't quite seem to have figured this. I mean, they get a three in the end, but they still look a little off sync, don't they, against this zone defense?
It's something you've got to work on in practice, just moving the ball, finding the right guy, but they'll be happy that they found the right guy in the end of that offense.
West loses his footing, but manages to get the pass away. Dusha fires up for three, that's off the mark, and easy rebound for George, and Greco comes in and slaps him on the arm. Timeout called by Coach Marriott and the Plymouth Raiders. 3.5 minutes to go here at the Pavilions till halftime, and it's his Raiders that lead 34 points to 26. I assume he's seen the same thing we've seen from up here, and he's just going to try and talk them through what. I mean, it's about ball movement. They seem a little slow on moving the ball against the zone defense?
I think so. They're definitely looking hesitant on that zone, but they've got good shooters on the Raiders team. All they have to do is move the ball. They've got guys that can also finish inside. You know, you've got to get the ball to those areas, the high post, up there at the free throw line, low post. Just have a little bit of a kind of a pivot going on there between the bigs. But they do have good shooters, Plymouth. David Evans, regardless of age, showing that he can knock down the three-point shot. But Surrey definitely not going away at this point.
Well, the other thing is that when they get the ball out of Wilshire's hands, they don't quite look as comfortable bringing it forward, but that will change when Brent Benson's in the team as well.
Yeah, he definitely gives another dimension to this Raiders team. Leading scorer in the league last year. That's a big chunk of the Raiders offense that's missing, but I think Wiltshire is doing a great job running the offense. But I think he's maybe given up one or two shots that he can knock down himself. If he can really pull the defense out, it'll make it a lot easier for his other four teammates.
Well, interesting, they got George to bring the ball up this time. Here is George, penetrating through, floats one up, or it just hit the ring and bounced away, but George gets it back from Hopkins and finishes it off.
Nick George had a rib injury pretty much all of pre-season. Played limited minutes last night. It's looking like he's ready to go for this particular game. Look for him to play a lot more than he did against Bristol last night.
Bit of dampness on the ball, stopping the play. West will sit down for Surrey.
And a lot of versatility in this Raiders team. Guys like Gerald Robinson, Nick George, Chris Dowse, and Neil Hopkins, they can play multiple positions.
Coach Majewski just getting a warning there from the referee. I think it was more for him being out of his technical area more than anything he said. He was close to the halfway line. Medlock drives in, kicks it out.
Good ball movement for Raiders.
George drives through, has it knocked away, and it came off his leg last, so it will be a Surrey ball. Turns the corner, has Knutson going down the lane, but that leaves Kreko open. The gamble out, and Kreko took it to the hole, but didn't finish it off. And Evans is way down court on his own, but they can't get the ball to him quick enough.
And great presence by Dre Medlock.
And they do get it to Evans in the end. He was away for the fast break, but they couldn't get the pass out, so he leaked out to the corner and was there for the three-point shot. Evans called for the foul.
Again, for a guy that hasn't played pro basketball in 10 years, David Evans definitely come out. He's obviously been working on his three-point shot. Raiders asleep again.
Yeah.
That's twice that's happened with Knutson. He's been very active.
Evans fires up for another three, knocks it down, back to back from David Evans. He's up to 11. Dusha. Here's Setti, giving way too much time to shoot that. It doesn't go. Fortin with the rebound. Setti loses the ball, but off the foot. So Surrey will retain possession and gain another 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Big minute and a a big minute and 19 seconds from Surrey here. They don't want this to get away from them by half-time.
Forson fires up for 3, and that's just what they needed.
That's exactly what they needed, exactly what Raiders didn't need.
Evans for another one. Yes, he's done it again! 3 in quick succession.
David Evans stroking the 3 ball.
Setti driving in. Again, good catch, and he finished that one off. Evans says, yeah, that was my fault. Just missed the cut. Well, a stop and a score here for Surrey. Gets it back down to back down to 10. Worst case scenario. But they don't get a stop, they get a foul. Forson called for it. And it'll be 2 free throws. So in all likelihood, Plymouth will have a double-figure lead to take to half-time. Second one misses, but Hopkins is there first. It's out of bounds, and it will be a Plymouth ball.
It's definitely one that hurts you as a coach.
Particularly as Plymouth still have a timeout in the bag, so Coach Marriott's able to draw up a play here for this last 18.6 seconds of the first half, and if they can end up with a 3 at the end of this, suddenly they look over the hill.
And there's only one guy that they would look to get that by all accounts, and that's David Evans.
Well, Evans is 5 of 5 from behind the arc, 6 of 7 total shooting, 17 points in 15 minutes. Not a bad home debut so far.
No, I don't think anybody would be disappointed with that stat line in there going into their first half-time team talk at home.
Well, the horn sounds to call the 2 teams back out onto court. And Surrey know they have to come up with some sort of stop here. Psychologically, the difference between 13 and 15 or 16.
You'd think that Surrey are going to focus a lot on Evans here. So you wonder whether the Raiders have drawn up a plan to get the ball to him, but maybe dump it down inside if he's double teamed.
George to inbound. Wiltshire lets some clock go, has a glance up. He's gone a bit early here, Wiltshire. And there's the follow from Medlock, but there's still time for Surrey to go the other way. They went a bit quick there. Dusha draws the foul, and they're going to get a couple of free throws there. Setti hits one from about 40 feet. Well, he looked up at the clock. Actually, it's they're not over the limit. That's the 4th, so it'll be sideline possession. So they might yet get away with it, Plymouth. Setti fires up a prayer on the buzzer that isn't quite answered. And Trevor Setti on his return to Plymouth Pavilions for the first time has 14 points at the half, but his side trailed by 15, Jamie.
Yeah, I think it's been a strange first half. I think, like you said earlier, both teams struggled early on. Raiders out of the 2 teams have really kind of been able to run their sets a little bit more, move the ball, find Dre Medlock inside, but obviously there's one thing that Surrey probably didn't account for, and that's the hot 3-point shooting of David Evans.
We're at the half here in Plymouth. It's the Raiders 48, Surrey United 33. Welcome back to the Plymouth Pavilions. where the hometown Raiders are leading this one by 15. You get the sense, Jamie Birchall, that this is a big 3, 4, 5 minutes for Surrey. They can't allow this game to get completely away from them as they did in the last minute or two of the first half.
Definitely, I think Surrey have got to be really switched on. I mean, both teams obviously have to be switched on, but I think Raiders definitely got the momentum going into that halftime break, and if they can continue to do what they did in the last 5 or 6 minutes of the second quarter, I think it could be a tough one for Surrey.
Well, you can see Trevor Setti trying to fire up his teammates, and then I think they realised that they were at the wrong end there. They were all ready to play defence, but swap round at half-time, fellas. Well, it's Evans' three-point shooting that was the star of the first half. Perfect from 5 attempts from behind the arc. George has it knocked away, and Greco comes up with the loose ball. Setti puts the ball on the floor, kicks it cross court to West. West, perfect pass to his coach. Jack should have shot that.
Well, he's 100% so far.
Yeah. Ultra gets past Dusha, up in the air, gets it back out to Evans. Evans puts the ball on the floor, a little bounce off the rim for 2.
Everything's going David Evans' way.
West with a little one-handed shot.
Nice finish from West. They definitely need more guys to step up this half, Surrey. Trevor Setti obviously leading them in scoring, 14 points. Kramer Knudsen, although doing a great job on the glass, maybe needs to step up. And obviously Kurt Kreko's had a half that he probably doesn't want to remember. 1 for 11 for Kreko, so he's going to want to step up.
Setti's 3 doesn't go. Offensive rebound by Kreko, kicks it out. West given space, and does it go? Yes, it does. Had a good think, but eventually dropped.
That's what you want from your guys that are struggling. Kreko struggling from shooting, grabbing the offensive rebound, and then being unselfish, kicking it out for the assist.
Evans goes the opposite weighted screen, fires up for 3, hits another one, 6 of 6.
And that's the second time he's ended up on the floor. David Evans absolutely on fire.
Well, there was a few eyebrows raised. The signing of good finish inside from Knudsen. The signing of Evans, just given his age as much as anything else. But well, I don't think anybody raising any eyebrows other than at his stat line right now.
Absolutely not. And at least 2 or 3 of those 3-point shots that he's hit have been extremely tough shots. As I just said, he's ended up on the floor a couple of times, very, very close to maybe being at the free throw line as well. He's got a very, very quick release on his shot, great form.
3-point play isn't converted. Robinson with the rebound. Wiltshire fires up, knocks it down. It's taken 2.5 minutes into the third quarter. But Plymouth on the brink of going past their score in their opening game. That'll be a charging foul. They'll be able to do it. Only 56 points in game number 1. And they can go past that here early in the third in game number 2.
Dre Medlock showing good footwork there to get in position and take that charge.
Third personal foul. Sayers into the game. Sayers running the baseline. Thought he was going up with that one there. Looked like his sort of spot. 3 from Robinson is off the mark. Evans just wanted that a bit more. Robinson with the reverse screen. Wiltshire does get it out to Sayers in the corner for 3, not quite. Oh, it's a little high for Sayers from Robinson. Robinson saying, you should have gone out to the corner. Shoot the 3. He was attacking the basket. Pass too high for him to pull in. Dusha, a little stop and go, throws it away. Wiltshire with the pull-up 3 in transition is short. Knutson with the rebound. Dusha kicks it out.
Good defense from Gauss.
Yeah, that's all over Kreko there. Here's Setti. Setti with the crossover, step back, short on it. Evans is out leading the break and finishes off for 2. And David Evans is up to 24 personal points here. He's only missed 1 shot in the game so far.
Evans having a fantastic game. Plymouth have got good shooting in this particular line. They've got shooting from all over the floor, probably with the exception of Dowse. They've got 4 legitimate 3-point shooters out there with Wiltshire, Gerald Robinson, Evans, and obviously Lewis Sayers. So they'll be looking to spread the floor.
West trying to 3. I think that touched Sayers last. Yes, it did. And will be a Surrey ball. A bit unfortunate, really, because the pass was too far overcooked. And Jones checking in for his first taste of the action, and Evans getting a well-deserved round of applause as he sits down, game's leading scorer.
Kreko with a little 15-foot baseline jump shot. Again, Raiders haven't been great defending.
Oh, nice move along the baseline, and Robinson gets the finish.
Raiders haven't been great defending the out-of-bounds plays tonight. That might be a focus of Coach Jay Marriott this week.
Dusha going to the basket, but he's blocked by Robinson, was it? Oh, that was overcooked. Here's Robinson. And in the end, they get nothing from that. Pawson kicking it out. West inside. The follow from Knutson. He's really good at that, actually rearranging his body and just getting a little tip on it. Sayers for 3. Doesn't go. Ball is loose.
And the Surrey team not going away.
Well, I was just thinking the same thing. They've looked for long periods second best in this team, but in this game, sorry, but they're not beyond reach here, Surrey. Nice little backdoor cut, but it's ripped away from Kreko. Jones looking to push in the open court with the bounce pass to Robinson. He's probably took more time than he needed, but finished it off in the end, and the timeout has been called. With just under 4.5 to play here in the third quarter at the Pavilions. It's 59-43 in favor of Plymouth. Well, timeout again. I'm sure Coach Majewski is just trying to get his team going offensively. That's been their Achilles heel in this game. They just haven't really found anything to consistently put the ball in the basket. I mean, Setti's been able to get some shots and Knutson's been lively, but they've just not really had any other threat from there.
As you mentioned earlier, we were speaking about it at halftime. They seem like they need some extra scoring from somewhere else. Kreko's obviously, he's had a better quarter. He had a really difficult first half. Setti and Knutson are going to get their shots, are going to get their points, but it's that other person needs to step up and come to the party, whether it's West, whether it's Kreko. But at the moment, Raiders will be happy. They've kind of got Surrey at arm's length at the moment, but very mindful that they should probably be at least 20 up, probably in their eyes, 20, 25 points by now.
Well, they've got to 18. But this is usually the point where Surrey have a couple of good plays in a row and cut it back down to 13, 14, 15. There's Forson. Cross court to West, inside to Nuts, and that's the thing. If they can feed him in there, he's going to do that all day. Robinson drives underneath, and again, just a little too easy. Need his man for 4, almost to steal away there. 3 goes up for Forson. It might come all the way back to no. Ucho gets in the way. Robinson underneath draws the foul. The layup will count, and he'll go to the line for a bonus.
Good methodical finish there. Execution by Joe Robinson. And two young prospects out on the court at the moment with Dusha and Justin Jones. Jones coming from Raiders from the Gran Canaria Basketball Academy that's produced a lot of top players. Only 21 years of age, getting some good BBL minutes.
Not the first Justin Jones in BBL history. You remember the old guy who used to play for Doncaster? Is that before your time?
I think that's before my time.
It was the first thing I thought of when I saw the signing. I was like, wow. Here's Forson. Drives along baseline, nice finish.
Well, you never know. How long ago was it? David Evans, 37-year-old BBL rookie. Justin Jones from Doncaster could be coming back to the BBL. Who knows?
It's probably a little older than 37 now, though. That's the only thing. Wiltshire driving in. Forson knocks it away, but illegally so. And the Raiders will get a couple of free throws here, I think.
Josh Wiltshire, definitely a point guard with a lot of poise. That's why Jay Marriott brought him in the first place this summer, something that he maybe thought they didn't have enough of at the point guard spot last year.
It'd be interesting to see how he lines up with Benson, because obviously Benson can play the 1 spot as well, but one assumes that they'll push Benson over to 2.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty versatile Raiders team overall, actually, because you can move Benson to the 2. I think he's, everyone knows he can score the ball. But if Wiltshire needs a bit of a breather, Benson will be at the 1.
Traveling violation is the call there against Dowse. Pass was just a half step behind him, and he had to readjust his feet as he caught it. Setti
Nice
with the crossover, and Jones caught him on the arm.
Setti again showing his versatility at 6'8", able to cross over at speed.
Dusha in bounds, the ball quickly cross court to Greco, whose former team Durham in action today against one of the new sides. Leeds are in a pretty comfortable place as well in the 3rd period in that game. Wildcats best part of 20 points in front. 3-on-1 here. Forson will finish it off.
And Raiders being a little bit sloppy there. Justin Jones turning the ball over.
Inside the final 2 here at the 3rd quarter. Robinson given some space from behind the arc. It's short, but the long rebound comes out to Evans, which drives in. He was looking for other options, none presented themselves, so he fired up the shot that didn't go. Kreco going quickly
Yeah,
to the
Kreco
basket, draws the foul, and he'll go to the line for a bonus.
Kreco having completely the opposite half as he had in the first half. Seen that a few times down the years. I remember one particular game where Charles Smith had only a couple, 2 or 3 points at the half. But then you knew he was going to come back in the second half, and you just were waiting for it.
And Kreco's yet to miss in this second half. He missed 10 times in the first.
Yeah, only a 14-point Raiders lead now.
And again, each time they looked like they were getting away, something happens, and Surrey just keeps it interesting. Wiltshire put the ball on the floor, looking for some options again, finds George, zips it cross court to Hopkins, shot clock running down on Hopkins, he's blocked, got it off. It must be a violation though, because it didn't hit the ring.
Much better defense from Surrey there. Raiders gone a little bit stagnant in their offense, a little bit hesitant.
Dusha to Setti, around the screen, Setti. Bit high for Dusha, but he pulls it in. Kreco, big lane. Oh, he goes past Hopkins nicely
step.
And lays it in.
Looking like Manu Ginobili on the Euro step.
It's down to 12 here, inside the final minute. Just for a second, it looked like Kreco might be able to pick that pass off. George drives in, has it knocked away, but a foul is called. I think Dusha, the offender.
It's the wind taken out of the Plymouth pavilions the last few minutes.
Get the rebound.
Credit to Surrey for picking up their defense. I think Plymouth will be a little disappointed in some of the shot selection and some of the decision making.
A little short there from George, and it didn't have enough to roll in.
Let's go, get the rebound. It's out, guys, it's out. Let's go, get the rebound.
Second one does go.
Should get it back.
Boring offensive rebound. There ought to be enough time. Kreco runs into Hopkins, and Hopkins is called for the foul. Dusha. Of course, with the shot clock resetting to 14, they should still get it back. Is Dusha. Got to see the shot clock. Do they see the shot clock?
Kramer's got the size advantage on Hopkins.
Oh, he's missed
the bunny.
Hopkins with the rebound. Wiltshire just bobbled it for a second there. He's got to fire up. He gets it forward to Hopkins, who lays in on the buzzer.
Great
Fantastic play to finish the third quarter for the Plymouth Raiders, and they've re-established a 15-point lead on the end of it.
I think that was very big for Plymouth Raiders, very big for Coach Marriott, because there was a slight time in that quarter where I think they were probably getting a little bit anxious. The lead was coming down, getting a little bit smaller each time, and they'll look to build on this little lead that they've managed to re-establish.
We're through 3 here in Plymouth. It's the Raiders 71, Surrey 56. Welcome back to Plymouth. Surrey are first out on court, and they need to find something here at the start of the fourth quarter to claw their way back into this game. They've shown in little spells that they can unsettle Plymouth. They just haven't been able to consistently put points on the board. I mean, 71 against through 3 quarters is a little high, but it's not too far over par. 56 is under par.
You wouldn't think that Plymouth will be too concerned.
Oh, nice pass.
But obviously, if they keep allowing easy baskets like that, I don't think Surrey have made too many decent-sized runs in this game. So I think if Raiders can kind of hold them at arm's length, they'll be quite confident they can close this game out.
Well, 9 in a row is the biggest for either side in terms of scores without reply. But even if they just got it back to single figures here in the first 2-3 minutes of the fourth quarter, Plymouth might get a little nervous.
Especially after the loss at Bristol on Saturday night. A little bit of anxiety might creep in.
Evans has it stolen away by Kreco. He thought about grabbing him, decided against it. Kreco goes hard to the glass. Oh, that one bobbles out, but it's kept alive by Forson, and he saves it to Kreco. They can go again here. Kreco.
Good jump stop. Nice play.
It's down to 11. Oh, they had him there for a second. Evans thought about the shot, gave it to Medlock. Might have got away with the travel there as he didn't seem to put the ball down straight away, but the referee let him go on that, and all Knutson could do was commit the foul.
A decent battle between these two, Medlock and Knutson. 2 legitimate centres in the league.
Medlock makes the first free throw, takes him up to 11. He's also got 6 rebounds. It's 16 and 10 the other way for Knutson. Driving along the baseline, Forson, and Knutson is fouled, so he'll go to the free throw line. Evans called for it. That's his 4th personal foul.
It looks like he's going to leave him in for the time being.
Well, it's a bit of a gamble, just in case, if they did get back close and they've cut it to 11 again, you might need his offense down the stretch, and Kreco just overplaying a little bit there, committing a foul he didn't really need to. It's his 3rd. George running baseline. George taking it inside, little up and under, and he was, you know what? Setti had a clean block, and then Knutson fouled him in front, and actually it'd have been better off just leaving him alone. I don't know, did he? Oh, has he got a nosebleed there? Certainly the towels come out quick. Can only assume it's a nosebleed, but if he has to go off for a few minutes to stop the bleeding, that's not a great time in the game for them to lose him. Maybe it's just above the eye or something. Because where the towel is seems a bit higher than the nose, doesn't it?
Got a good game, Knutson. Been a constant thorn in the side of Raiders.
Well, it's always hard to spill blood and then get called for the foul. It does appear to be around the eye area. So West comes back into the game for Knutson. West is on 4 fouls as well, just to note. Sayers and Robinson check into the game for Plymouth. George was a little short on the first free throw last time he went to the line, but that one had just enough to get it up and in. And the second one bobbles about, and I think that came off Robinson last, so it will be a Surrey ball.
Pretty big lineup here for Plymouth now. I think Surrey are going to want to try and get Knutson back into the game as soon as they possibly can. Raiders are looking to maybe get the ball inside without the presence of Kramer Knutson in there.
Setti to Kreko. Dusha round to Setti. Shot clock getting low here. Setti with the little fallback high arcer hits the front of the ring. Ooh, Setti diving into the advertising boards to save it. Sayers hits for 3. Setti really stop and go, nowhere to go. Kreko thought about the 3, turned it down, tacks the basket off the glass. Robinson with the rebound, and again, just when they seem to get close, Surrey, the game flips and appears to be getting away from them once again. Oh, but a poor turnover. Setti throws it out long. Horson just about gets it, dumps it off to Kreko. Good head fake to send Sayers flying past, then he converts.
It's been the pattern of it so far, with Raiders able to extend their lead and then turn the ball over. Surrey able to get a cheap, quick basket at the other end.
It's a drawn foul there where you manage to get in front of your defensive player and then slow down. He's going to foul you. I think Wilshere having a little touch of cramp. Wants to come out of the game, but first he's got to take the 2 free throws. No, the second one's not good, so he won't be able to come out of the game just yet. Setti drives baseline, gets it back out. Horton thinks about the 3, takes it at the second attempt. String music. 11 once again.
Setti doing well to find the open man there. Again, Surrey hanging around.
George driving through. Well, that was poor defense. Yeah, really, just easy laying. Timeout called, 6:21 to go, as you say. Surrey hanging around, but unable to make the decisive run here at the Plymouth Pavilions. So let's put you down in that man's shoes. What are you going to be saying to you guys? How are you going to get them to the 13 down? They need that 7, 8, 9 in a row run. What do they need to do?
Well, it's all on the defensive end. They're doing a great job in able to come up with baskets inside and out. Obviously, with Knutson out, not in the game at the moment, that's going to hurt them. But it's defensively, they're just allowing far too many easy Plymouth points. Nick George, case in point there, able to just kind of saunter into the paint and finish with the easy layup. You know that they're doing great work, Surrey, in order to get back into the game by hitting tough shots like Fortson the last time down. but defensively, they're not going to get back in it. They're not going to put a big enough run together to get it done unless they step it up on the defensive end.
Well, they're starting to run out of time here, Surrey. So that run has to come soon. Dusha. West. Back to Setti. Setti kicks it out into the corner, moves around to Dusha for three. Short. Batted up in the air. Kreko's first to it. Number 14 on the reset for an offensive rebound. Cross court to Kreko. This is where it pays. You've got to shoot. Forson fires it up, and that is the difference this year, is you just don't get as long once you get the offensive rebound to get into your rhythm. And it also, I think it's going to be interesting. You get late in a close game, it actually will change the way people consider playing defense, because they'll know, well, if we give up an offensive rebound, we're only going to lose 38 seconds as opposed to 48. It is that sort of how it impacts on a close game. First free throw off the back of the ring. Oh, he's missed them both, but the offense, no, Setti's knocked it loose. Robinson getting it, Setti diving on the floor. Robinson comes up with it. It's a bit broken here for Surrey, they're in trouble. And, oh, it still doesn't go in.
Got to score from that. It was a 3-on-1. Nick George a little bit hesitant.
Setti doesn't go. George slows it down, gets it back to his point guard. Setti gambled on that, lost the gamble, but Robinson lost the ball.
A little bit of anxiety creeping into the Plymouth pavilions.
It could be single figures here. Setti fires up for three. Not quite enough in the legs on that one. Robinson on the far side. George running the baseline. Robinson fires up for three, doesn't go. Wilshere almost got the rebound. Dusha did instead. Kreko driving hard through the lane. That was it. Cut through the defense. Draws the foul. He'll go to the line. He can make this a single-figure game here.
And Kreko's done a great job this half. He's definitely been a completely different player. It's always tough to have a poor first half and try and turn it around, but he's done just that with his aggressiveness, being able to get to the basket, get fouled, making shots, finding teammates. He's really turned himself around this half.
4.5 to play here at the Pavilions. Plymouth leading by 11, but Surrey with some shots to come. But the point you make about Kreko is a good one. He what did he have? 4 points at halftime, 17 now in total. His shooting numbers were 1 of 11 at halftime. He's been 6 of 8 here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Surrey needed that third guy. You know, we've said it many a time today. We've said that Knutson's going to get his. You know, he's going to get a lot of shots inside. He's going to get a lot of touches. Travis, you know, a lot of the ball all year long is going to go through Travis Setti. They needed that third guy to come up. Against London, he had a solid game. Kreko with 12 points, 5 rebounds and 3 assists.
Don't know whether Knutson will be coming back or not. Still can't quite see him from our angle.
They were going to want him to get back out on the court there, because without him in there and his presence and his shot blocking ability, Raiders are going to think that they can get to the basket whenever they want.
Coach Majewski not happy because the scoreboard's added 2 points to Plymouth during that timeout. The interesting thing is the stats always had it at 80 and the scoreboard had it at 78. So whether they missed the scoreboard, missed the basket slightly earlier is what I can only assume, they realized their error during the break and they added the 2 points on. So instead of having the chance to make it down to a a single figure game, he can only cut it back to 11. So
I can see how that's very frustrating,
yeah, exactly,
for Coach Majewski, but if that's the score, that's the score. Unfortunately, just got to get on with it. I'm impressed with Surrey's never say die attitude.
He's missed the second though. Mouse pulls in the rebound.
Several times during this game where I think Plymouth could have really kicked on.
Back out. Wiltshire fires up for 3. Long rebound will come down in Trevor Setti's hands. Kicks it back to Dusha. Dusha on the floor, drives in. It's a bit high. Kreko forcing now at the top of the key for 3. Doesn't quite go. And Evans with the rebound. And you wonder now if the game might be gone from Surrey.
They haven't quite made those big shots.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get a little bit closer than 9 or 10.
And they haven't been able to consistently stop Plymouth at the other end either. Dusha. Kreko, Setti, this has to go in really.
Way off from Trevor Setti.
It's not quite going to be the return he had dreamt of last night, Trevor Setti. 16 points personal for him, 5 assists, 4 boards. But you know he wanted to win the game more than anything else. Wiltshire, little fall away, doesn't go. Setti with the rebound. Dusha pushing to West. West drives in, good challenge, but he gets his own rebound and finishes off. 12 points in under 3 minutes. You've seen it done before. It just doesn't feel likely. It's the sense that you get in the game.
I don't think either team have really, kind of, apart from the spell where David Evans' little 3-point barrage, but neither team have really kind of scored in really large bunches like that.
Well, that was really the spell that broke the game open when Evans hit 4 3-pointers in quick succession. Saw Watson do something similar for Leicester against Manchester last night. Third quarter, barrage of 3s. Broke open an otherwise close game.
Seen some interesting performances from a lot of the newcomers this year, with Stibbins from London, 27 points,
game,
12 rebounds, 3 blocks. The big guy, Thurman from Worcester, putting up good numbers against Newcastle.
You might even say he put up Will Creekmore numbers for Worcester.
Well, I mean, if he carries on like that, I think Worcester fans will be saying, Will who?
Well, I made that very joke to Creekmore on Twitter. And he came back and said, yeah, I think you might be right. There's Wiltshire, just over 2 minutes. 2 minutes and some change to go here in the fourth quarter. Plymouth have been relatively comfortable after a slow start, thanks to this man's 3-point shooting. And it's interesting because he had that spell where, you know, the shots were going in, he kept taking them, and then since then you've seen him go back to be a facilitator, role player, not feeling like, well, this is my game, I'm going to take it over. It's good to see.
Definitely a high IQ player. Been there and done it, had a stellar European career. Had an unbelievable college career from what I've heard. Scored over 2,000 points in college. Was a big-time player in college. That's it's going back some time, but in his display today hasn't lost much.
26 points, 90% shooting, 6 of 6 from the 3-point line, 5 rebounds. done a bit of everything, but particularly the offense. Here is Knutson back into the game after that injury. He's had to put a different shirt on, which just threw me for a second because he obviously got blood on his own shirt. Oh, good tip in from Setti. Setti call for the foul. And Wiltshire, who was struggling, well, he was struggling a little bit with cramp about 4 or 5 minutes ago, so whether that's still bothering him.
Yeah, I've been in that position a few times. This horrible thing to happen in the middle of a game.
Back-to-back games. Obviously, it's a short back-to-back because you're playing 4 o'clock, so you don't get the. If you play Friday, Saturday, you tend to get 24 hours behind the back-to-back. Surrey obviously played Friday, so they had an extra day.
I remember a Saturday road trip at Sheffield, coming back at 3, 4 in the morning and then having to turn it around for a 4 p.m. on a Sunday. And it's tough to do. It's one of the disadvantages of living down in Plymouth, playing down at Plymouth.
Evans just continues to be super efficient. Oh, Setti is fouled underneath there, and it's interesting because there was nobody further back, was there? You know, it's only a regular foul because it was a push. But it's funny, if he was dribbling the ball and did something like that, you'd see the referee call that unsportsmanlike. Setti drives in off the glass for 2.
76.
Dusha, they're gambling now. Trying to get a steal. If you don't get a steal, it doesn't matter if you foul him because we need to stop the clock. Icing the game really here. Wiltshire from the free throw line. Decent home debut. I'm sure the fans will like what they've seen from their new point guard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Josh Wiltshire made a real impression last season. Came down to the pavilions in a pre-season game for Reading and just ran the show at 20-something points.
That'll be unsportsmanlike as Medlock finishes off, and it was a bit of a grab from behind from Knutson, and that'll be all she wrote for him. His 5th personal foul, he's out of the game. No, in fact, it's not his 5th. They've got him down as number 4 on the scoreboard just to confuse things, even though he's 00. It's only his 3rd. Medlock converts the 3-point play, and this one is in the books with under 50 seconds to go. Wiltshire gets an ovation from the home fans.
15 assists, I've just read on your monitor there.
11 points, 15 assists, 5 rebounds. Say, not a bad home debut.
Not a bad debut from your point guard.
If it wasn't for David Evans going for 28 points off 10 for 11 shooting, he might be in a shout for MVP. Oh, Jones somehow finds his way to the basket.
Always good when your younger players get some minutes, manages to get a quick score towards the end of the game.
Setti stepping out of bounds. Shot clock switched off, so unless Surrey foul, which they ought not to, that'll be all she wrote.
Wiltshire's got to be getting pretty close to the Raiders BBL individual record for assists. I remember Rod Brown a couple of seasons ago getting 14 in his debut.
And the Raiders fans get to their feet, to celebrate a first win of the season. And they're mighty pleased with that performance. They've ended up comfortable in the end, but to be honest with you, they always had that comfort margin right from the moment that Evans started tossing in the threes in the second quarter.
They did, and no matter when Surrey made their runs, I think they always felt that they were in control, and obviously Coach Jay Marriott will be absolutely ecstatic they were able to get a win, game number 1 at home, especially after the disappointing loss down at Bristol.
Well, some standout performances. David Evans, obviously, with his 6 of 6 three-pointers were 28 points, and as you say, 11 and 15 for Wiltshire in the backcourt. Trevor Setti on his return to the Pavilions, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, but without the victory that he so craved.
Yeah, when you look at it, it's a good stat line for Trevor Setti. Probably disappointed with his three-point shooting, 3 for 13, but he's going to be most disappointed with the fact that his team, or he couldn't help his team, pick up the win. But very, very balanced scoring from Plymouth, all the way down, and no doubt looking to improve with some tougher challenges maybe coming up soon.
Well, we've got some more BBL action coming for you next week. Last year's double winners, the Worcester Wolves take on Cheshire Phoenix. A lot of buzz around Cheshire over the summer. We get to see them for the first time here, so make sure you join us for that. For Jamie Birchall, I'm Daniel Routledge. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.